Hey, what's going on YouTube? So should you fake it until you make it when you're wholesaling real estate? We'll talk about it right after this. Hey, what's up YouTube? My name is Graylan Stewart. I am a virtual wholesaler and entrepreneur. We wholesale houses nationwide. I'm super blessed, and I thank God every day for the opportunity that He gave me for landing wholesaling real estate into my lap. It has truly been a game changer for me and my family, and I'm truly blessed. But today's video, thank you for joining me. Today's video is about maybe faking it until you make it. So what do I mean by that? Obviously, people don't like fake, right? And I'm not really talking about it in that respect. So what I'm talking about is, obviously, everybody starts from somewhere, right? We were all newbies at some point, and maybe you're a newbie now. So really what I mean is fake it until you make it means, to me, because this is kind of how I started when I started my business back at the end of 2018. I was super new, super green, wet behind the ears, whatever you want to call it. Didn't know a ton, but I did know that wholesaling real estate was possible. The concept made sense to me, and I dove in head first right from the get-go. So I just had this conversation today. I went to lunch with someone local here in the Denver area, and I was just telling them that you can analysis paralysis. A lot of people do that. They want to learn and learn and learn forever, but never really take any action. But then there's the opposite effect as well, to where people jump in way too fast to where they don't even really know what they're doing at all, which is also a failure. So what I would say is take action immediately, but you at least got to know the basics, right? You got to know the concept of wholesaling and the kind of the ins and outs and the logistics of some of it, okay? You don't have to be a pro. You don't have to overthink it. You don't have to have all the perfect contracts. You don't have to have this fancy CRM and all these different softwares. None of those things really matter at the end of the day. If you're trying to wholesale real estate, I do recommend jumping in and taking action. But at least have some sort of common sense, some sort of, just some kind of morals and, in that respect, because at the end of the day, you're dealing with people's lives. When you're putting a contract on a house with a distressed homeowner, they're counting on you. So be sure that you are confident in what you're doing. So that doesn't mean, have analysis paralysis and trying to learn everything before you ever start, because you probably never start. I know people that started the same time as me and they still have never done a deal. They're still learning. In the meantime, I've made probably a couple $1 million during that time period when they're still learning, right? Of course, it wasn't easy. It's definitely a difficult road. There are a lot of moving parts in this business, but at the same time, the concept is simple. So keep it simple initially and just take action. So when I say fake it until you make it, I'm really talking about confidence more than anything. Because really, if you're confident in what you're doing, sellers can kind of play off of that. They kind of can feel that in your tonality and the voice if you're over the phone, or they can see it in your body language or in that kind of thing when you're face to face. So, and it's the same thing with buyers. When you're trying to sell that property, they can kind of get a good feel on, are you the real deal or not? Is this some newbie that I can take advantage of or something like that? So that's all I mean by fake it till you make it. When I did my very first deal, of course, I've talked about this in several videos, so not trying to rehash other videos, but the first two deals that I did, I actually locked up while I was in Las Vegas, and these deals were in Oklahoma City. I locked them up over the phone, so my first two were virtual, and I ended up coming back, on that Monday. I showed that one of those properties to a cash buyer, and I just acted like I had been doing this for years. I didn't lie to him or tell him any different. I just acted like, this is what we do. This is how we operate. Here's the property. Here's my price. Kind of here's my parameters. Just this is just how we do it. I acted like it was normal. Whereas at the back of my mind, I always knew that, well, I've only got 18 buyers. what can I do with that, But at the end of the day, I was confident because I do know that I found good comps for the property. So I was really confident on my ARV, which is the most important thing you'll ever learn in wholesaling real estate. You got to know what the ARV is after repair value. You have to know what that property is worth in today's standards, all fixed up, okay? Because then you base every other number off of that number. So I was confident that I saw comps at these high dollars, and I got the house at a certain amount, way below market value. So I was confident in my numbers, so therefore I could kind of fake it until I made it, because I was talking about this particular deal with a buyer, and I just acted like, this is what we do every day, because that was my goal, to do that every day, and I did have good deals under contract, and that was what I was pursuing. So I never lied to him, but I just had that confidence from the get-go and portrayed myself in that way, all along the way. And I did the same thing with the seller. So I think it's super important where you portray yourself as being confident and knowing what you're doing, even if you are new. Like I said, everybody starts out somewhere, and that doesn't mean you have to let the seller know, let the buyer know that you're new. It's just like when you go into a restaurant and there's, maybe the waiter is struggling a little bit, and then they always tell you, oh, well, I'm brand new, I'm still learning everything, But some waiters are really good, and it might be their first day as well, and they're killing it. And you would never know it's their first day just because they had that confidence from the get-go, and they didn't act like they were new. You know what I mean? Hopefully that kind of puts that in perspective a little bit easier. So you kind of get where I'm coming from. So by no means am I saying, a lot of people, but I'm just saying fake it until you make it. As far as confidence goes, that's really what it is. So have confidence when you're on the phone with these sellers. If you're driving for dollars starting out, or doing some small campaigns on SMS or cold calling or direct mail, whatever it is, just have confidence when you're on the phone, because buyers can hear and feel that on the other line. And the same thing with your buyers when you try to sell it. Just act like it's something you've always done. That's what you do. Because even when I started, I'm like, yeah, we do, 2 or 3 deals a month, because I didn't know what I was going to do at that time. I ended up doing 7 my first month, but I was like, yeah, we do 2 or 3 deals every month, because that was definitely my goal. I did already have 2 under contract, so that was pretty much, the truth. 2 or 3 a month. I did 2 that same month, on that day. So that's just kind of how I pursued it. Like, I do 2 or 3 deals a month. If you want on my buyers list, you need to sign up or give me your email address or phone number, whatever. So just having that confidence. Like I said, don't overthink it. This business is super simple, but it isn't easy, that's for sure, because there are a lot of moving parts. But when you're starting out, don't worry about the perfect contract, or, oh, is this the right title company, or is that one? And as long as you know it's a title company that investors have closed at, that's all you really need. You can figure out like who your favorite is later, or you can figure out your perfect contract after you've already done 2 or 3 dozen of them. You know what I mean? So, I made several $100,000 before I ever had the perfect contract that I use today. Made several $100,000 before I ever had a CRM or any kind of software that I use in my everyday business now. So what I'm saying is, you can start this off as super simple and still make good money, and then just have that confidence from the jump, and that's kind of how you fake it until you make it. Because eventually, it's just like the old adage, or it's even biblical actually. Whatever you say and do and feel is kind of what ends up happening to you. So if you're thinking positive, those type of positive things typically happen. But if you're thinking negative, then usually negative things are going to happen, because it's already in your head. Your mind is super powerful. So that's more than anything. This business is just a mindset. Get your mind right, to where you can do it. You're confident in what you're doing. Even if you are new, that doesn't matter. You can still have confidence in knowing what you're doing and how to do it. So anyways, hopefully all that makes sense to you. Hopefully you saw value in it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, smash the like button. I'd appreciate it. And definitely subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell. It'll tell you every time we upload. So anyways, hopefully this was beneficial, and I'll see y'all in future videos. Thanks a lot.